Hi everyone! In this video I will talk about how I bought a house in Amsterdam and the Amsterdam housing market in general with my real estate agent Jeroen Dernison.
Hi guys, I'm Jeroen from 020 Makelaars and I helped Murat find his apartment in Amsterdam.
Yes, so happy. So I've been looking for a house in Amsterdam, and indeed it took a long time and it was a difficult process. The housing market in Amsterdam is crazy. Maybe you've heard about it, or maybe you can imagine how it is, but it was really crazy. How it works in Amsterdam is that there's a website where you see most of the houses. It's called Funda, and or you get a listing also from your real estate agent if you're working with one. And if you're interested in a house, you make an offer. There is usually an asking price on the house and you need to make an offer on top of the asking price. And usually it goes a lot higher than the asking price, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately indeed. Yeah.
So like everyone, I've seen a couple of houses. I made an offer on a couple of them as well. And finally, I found my dream house. So Jeroen, you introduced yourself and you're part of the 020 Makelaars in Amsterdam. Correct. Can you tell us about the company, about the structure?
Yeah, it's quite a small company. Started in 2001, I think. Founded by Frits Merhoff, colleague. And already on the market for 20 years now. And
what is the area that you're working in?
Well, mainly Amsterdam, of course. That's why we called 020 Makelaars, 020, because that's the code number for in front of all the phone numbers in Amsterdam. So we're mainly focusing on Amsterdam, residential properties, residential real estate, buying, selling, and renting. But we also look at the bigger area around Amsterdam. Mm-hmm. So if you want to buy something in Haarlem, for instance, then we can also help you, or maybe other, like Zaandam, which is close to Amsterdam. We also provide help with that. So let's say 80% is focused on Amsterdam, and the rest, if people want to move out Amsterdam, for instance, then we can help them as well. Yeah. So
and where are you located?
Well, actually, we don't have a real real estate agent office, as you know. So we're not in the street anymore with signs behind the window. We have our office in Spaces,
which is where we are right now.
Where we are right now, yeah. So Vijzelstraat Spaces is a really vibrant area with a lot of startups and
hip and
hip and happening.
Yeah, and it's really right in the center of Amsterdam.
Yeah. So it's for people, it's easy to come by bike or by metro or public transport.
So looking for a house in Amsterdam was an experience for me. I'm from Turkey, as you guys know, and it's very different over there. My mother used to work as a real estate agent. If someone is interested in buying, people chase them. And here in Amsterdam, it's the other way around. If you're interested in buying, you're chasing the real estate agent, you're chasing the owner. And it's usually like things happen in a couple of days, and it's very hectic here. And do you want to talk about the Amsterdam housing market and your own observations, maybe?
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah, how it works. If for instance, you were a client, like we call it a buying client. Yeah. So we make a profile of what you wish, in which area you prefer to live, and looking also at the amount of money that you can spend on buying the house. So we make a profile, and then we send you emails every day if houses are available. Yeah. And those houses also come on Funda, which, as you mentioned, is the main site for like the eBay for the housing, Dutch housing market, call it that way. Yeah. And then indeed you need to be really quick, because if the house is online on Monday, then in most cases you have viewings, for instance, on Wednesday, Friday, and the next Monday, and then you might have 10 minutes, 15 minutes to see the house, and then you need to decide if you like it or not. And if you like it, then most selling agents now they have an end date or a final date, and on that final date you need to make your offer.
Yeah.
And that's a final offer, and in most cases, let's say 99%, it's above asking price. So for instance, if the asking price is 350, then you might need to consider to go to 390 or even above 400,000 euros
to have a chance.
Yeah, to have a chance. It's like sometimes it's like a lottery sometimes, and if you have still even with Corona days if you have a nice apartment, you might have 30 or 40 viewings. And of those people, maybe 15 are really interested, so they all make an offer. So from those 15, you need to make the best offer.
The best offer, yeah. And it's really difficult because you have no idea what other people are offering.
No.
And you're afraid that you're putting too much or too little. It's always, it's such a risk.
Yeah, that's a risk, and it's also for us as agents, we can advise you because we have.
I was gonna say that.
Yeah, okay.
That's exactly like why you need to work with an agent, because like as I said, you might be giving too much money on a house that's maybe not worth it, or maybe people are not gonna put that much money. So you might be offering like 400,000 for an apartment, and the next offer is like 380, and you would get the same apartment for 381 then, and that's where you guys were helping me. Like making a guess on how much the house will be worth, and how much we'll put on it.
The thing is that we have like a CRM system in which we have all the recent data from houses that have been sold in the past few months, so we can give you like a good estimate on the value. And then we also look, what's your situation, how much mortgage do you need, do you have savings, can you add some of your savings in buying the apartment, and if there's nobody else who is bidding even higher, and we are at safe level if you look at market prices, then you should be fine. But if someone really likes the house and is willing to spend more of its own money into the house, then you lose it. So then we need to go on to the next.
Yeah, exactly. So the question that everyone that wants to buy a house has in their mind: is it a good time to buy?
Well, to my opinion, actually, it's always a good time to buy a house. At least in Amsterdam. I can't speak for all other cities in the Netherlands, but for Amsterdam, last year's prices kept on going up. The last financial crisis, 2008-9 and further, prices didn't really drop. They slowed down a little, but as of 2013-14, prices picked up, and they kept on rising until today. And even now we're in the Corona crisis. Quite a lot of people expected that the market would drop or even collapse, but that didn't happen. It almost seems like people are getting more and more people are trying to buy something or buy something, buy a bigger place, so they want to move. So quite a lot of stuff is happening. So if you can buy a house in Amsterdam, I suggest you should do it. And of course, when you are an expat and you come to Amsterdam for the first time, or maybe you've seen it once or twice, and you like the city, but of course you don't know how it is to live in the city. Might be a bit scary to buy a house right away. So what you see is quite a lot of people rent an apartment for 1 or 2 years just to know if they keep their job and how the city is like. But the thing is that for a nice apartment in a nice area, you pay 1,500 euros on rent, and it's only rent. So then you still need to add cost for energy and your internet connection, all the stuff which you have at the normal apartment as well. But of course, then you have 1,800 euros on housing cost every month.
You're wasting that money basically.
It's kind of wasting, because you get there's no return on it. So of course you have a house, but that's it. So if you can, I suggest buy a house. Maybe it might be scary to buy a house right away when you come to Amsterdam, but there's so much demand for houses at this point. So if you move out of the city after half a year even, or after a year, you might be able to even sell it with some profit. So or keep it and rent it out to a new expat, and then you become a small property investor already. So if you can, buy something.
Yeah, it was also the question that I had in my mind for like across all these years. I came here 9 years ago. Of course, I wasn't in a place to buy an apartment back then. I was a student, but then I started to, get interested in buying something, and I was always thinking, oh, the prices are so high, and for the amount that I can borrow from a bank, I cannot afford something big. So maybe it's not a good investment, etc. But then when I look at the houses that I was interested in back then, for the money that I was gonna pay then, now the apartments doubled, the prices doubled. They're worth so much more. Even though it would have been a small apartment, it would be such a good decision when I look at it now. And I regret it, but well, you cannot bring the time back.
No.
But as you said, I just do it. If you can buy an apartment, it seems like it's always a good investment in Amsterdam, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because Amsterdam keeps on being popular.
So we talked about the fact that it's a great investment to buy a house in Amsterdam, but what do you need in order to buy a house?
Money. That's what you need. So most people get their money from the bank as a mortgage, and you get money from the bank, which equals the amount that you need to pay for the apartment in most cases, and then once you received the key, then you also need to start paying back the bank. So you pay a monthly amount of money, which is part of it is interest which you pay to the bank, and the other part is putting some money that you have borrowed from the bank back to the bank. So at the end you have paid off the full debt. If you have savings, that also helps. So if you have saved money and you have a substantial amount which you can add to in the process, then you're less depending on a bank for a mortgage. So for instance, if you buy an apartment for 300,000 euros and you have 50,000 on savings, then you only need 250 from the bank in theory to get the house.
And that gives you also, I think, more chances for the seller. You're more interested because you're putting some money from your own pocket.
Correct. If you're bidding on a house and the seller sees that he has two offers which are quite similar. But for instance, if person A needs a full mortgage and person B brings some of the transaction price in his own money by savings, then the seller might choose for that person because he is less depending on getting a mortgage and therefore probably more sure to get the apartment. So that also helps.
Even if it's a small saving, I think it still makes a difference.
Still interesting. Right? And also, price is going up quite quick, so the return on investment is much bigger than putting the money on a savings account.
Exactly.
So that's also
and like from a lot of friends, what I hear is that as you said before, like the rent prices are really high in Amsterdam, especially I think for foreigners, because somehow Dutch people find a way to find something through friends, etc. Sometimes it happens, or they've been living in the same house for ages, and then the prices are more regulated. But for foreigners especially, the rent that I hear from my friends is something between 1,500 to 2,000. I have friends that pay more than 2,000 euros in Amsterdam. It's crazy. But when you buy a house, what I heard, I think in almost all cases, is that the mortgage payment per month is lower than what they pay normally for the rent.
In most cases it is, and that's of course mainly because of the low interest rates.
Exactly,
it saves you money already.
Exactly. And that's also good to mention. In the Netherlands, the interest rates are so low And what I got, actually, if you heard it, the notary also said it was the lowest he had heard of until then.
Yeah.
I got like 1.09 interest rate, which is like insanely low.
It's super low.
So it makes it a great investment. I think.
It makes it interesting.
Yeah.
The only thing is that if you buy an apartment or a house in Amsterdam, then you don't not only have to pay or need to pay the purchase price, but there is also extra costs which you need to pay on top of the price.
Yeah. What's the name of this cost?
Kostenkoper, as we call it.
Yeah.
So it's the cost that you as a buyer need to pay for getting the apartment. And those costs are built up out of transfer tax, which is 2% of the transaction price. Those transfer tax go to the Dutch government. You need to pay the notary because all legal documents that are needed for buying the house, they all go through the notary. So the notary has work on it, so you need to pay the notary. You need to have a report from an appraiser to evaluate the house for the bank. You need to pay your mortgage advisor or the bank directly on helping you get the mortgage. And if you have a buying agent, you need to pay the buying agent as well. So quite a lot of costs are added up to the purchase price.
Yeah. And how much is that like when you compare it to the value of the apartment?
Yeah, on average we say that's around 6 to 7% of the transaction price. It's like a rule of thumb that you can use for calculating those costs. Yeah.
So do you have different models of services that you provide to your clients?
Yeah, we have. If you look at the buying side, we actually have 3 levels of services. For each client that we have, we do make the profile, which I mentioned earlier. So we send you emails on a daily basis if there are new listings available. So that's standard. And then we have 3 levels. First level is that if you find something that you really like, we can help you buying that certain apartment. Then that's one. And that's like a fixed rate that we use for that service. And what's included, that of course we take a look at the apartment, we inform you about all the stuff that's going around in the apartment. Then we join you at the notary for signing the purchase agreement. We join you at the notary when you get the key. We do all the inspections which are needed for buying the house. So we join you with that. Second service is if you need to see more apartments, which is the case mostly, then what you can do is we send you the emails, and if you see houses that you like, you can make an appointment with the selling agent. And if you like the house, you can say, okay, Jeroen, I've seen a nice apartment, can you have a look at it and make an offer. And then from there we also go to the notary and we join you with the whole process. But you do the first viewings yourself. And then there's the full service package, as we call it. Then you get the emails, and then you say, okay, you don't have seen a nice apartment, I want to see it. And then we book you the first viewing, we join you with the first viewing. If you want to do a second viewing, we can also join you. And then we of course we send you the value schedules, we go to the notary and we do all the stuff which belongs to the whole process. So on summary, if you look at the 3 levels, it's a solitary service for a one-time buy. Second is first viewings by yourself, and the rest we join you. And the full service is we join you with all viewings. We make the appointments for the viewings, and then we join you till you get the key. So.
And these are the services while buying the apartment, but you also help with the signing the contract and. You were there to help me with all those.
That's also because signing the purchase agreement, that's like the most important step actually, because then you agree on buying an apartment and paying a whole lot of money at a certain point. So that's an important step that we guide you with. So before we go to the notary, we always go through it together. That we are sure that you know what you're signing, and then the notary goes through it again, but then you're already informed, more or less. So.
Exactly.
So that's the buying part. Of course, we also do sell houses and apartments. So if you've bought something, maybe if you want to move up and sell your apartment next year, then we can help you with selling the apartment. We also do valuation reports. So if you need a valuation report for getting your mortgage at the bank, we can also help you with that. So and we also do rentals. So if you go to another country but you want to keep your apartment, then if possible we can help you renting it out. So it's all there.
Great. What I would advise you guys, especially if you're a foreigner looking for an apartment in Amsterdam or in the Netherlands, I mean, even though the process is easier compared to other countries, it is quite complicated, and there are a lot of documents you're not going to be able to understand. And to be honest, like even in my own language or even in English, I wouldn't be able to understand a lot of things if it wasn't for Jeroen. And if it wasn't for my mortgage advisor as well. You guys walked me through everything. You made it understandable for me. It was to me all gibberish, and I didn't, I was looking at the documents. I didn't understand much. You walked me through the offers I should make, and that's really helpful. And you also helped me with, with the amount I could afford. Of course, I couldn't buy a canal house in Amsterdam. I mean, that's
not yet.
I would have loved to, but you have to be realistic. And if you have an advisor, they advise you, okay, these are the areas you should focus on, because this is the area where that's gonna improve. And I mean, of course, there were also other areas in Amsterdam, but for me, that wasn't interesting. Like I wanted to stay in the West, so. If you have an advisor, and that's what you also helped me with, was to decide to focus on an area, and as you look at houses, you narrow down your search, and that it becomes more and more clear for you. You hear also the background story of the area, of the neighborhood, and especially if you're new in Amsterdam, you don't know much. Maybe I'm not new. I know the neighborhoods more or less. But still, it's really hard to know what's going to happen in the neighborhood. Of course, like you do your research, the projects around the house. So for me, all of this was extremely helpful. And when you make a decision, I mean, even though we make it sound like it's easy, but it's not an easy decision. It's a big decision.
It's a big step in life.
Well, thanks a lot, and
thank you too for this opportunity, and good luck with renovation.
Thank you, and that's also, I mean, it's not their job, but Jeroen also helped me with ideas. Maybe you can do this, or you do that, and you also find people that can help you. So all of this is, of course, great help, great advice.
Perfect.
Well, thanks for all of that. And I hope to show you guys the apartment when it's finished. I'm really excited about it. Also very tired. It's really hot in Amsterdam these days. It's not the best time, but
all-time high temperatures. So,
exactly. Well, cannot complain.
No.
All right. Thanks for this video, and thanks for all the help you provided.
Thank you too, and maybe see you in another video.
And maybe you see some of the viewers in real life.
Hopefully.
If they're interested in working with you, I definitely would recommend working with Jeroen. And I will put the contact details in the below the video. I will put the website.
If you make a link to our website, then people can, if they're interested, then they can already get some information on the website. And if they want to take the next step, just let us know.
Great. And if you have questions about the process and how it went for me, or in general questions about housing in Amsterdam, You can also ask me. I know not as much as Jeroen does, but I know quite a lot by now. So yeah, I will try to answer for you guys. Thanks for watching the video, and comment, and don't forget to subscribe for the channel, and please like the video. Thank you guys. Bye bye.
See you. Bye bye.
Bye.